Welcome, everyone. Today, we are talking about something very important: how to make English learning a habit. Learning English can be challenging, but if you make it part of your daily life, it becomes easier and more fun. I'm Emma, and with me is Max.
Hi, everyone. Yes, we are so excited to share tips and ideas that can help you practice English every day. Emma, why do you think habits are important when learning a language?
Great question. Max, habits are important because they help you stay consistent. For example, if you decide to study English for 10 minutes every day, it becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth or drinking coffee in the morning. You don't have to think about it.
That's so true, and when you make English part of your routine, you'll see progress faster. But Emma, what's the best way to start building an English habit?
The first step is to start small. Don't try to do too much at once. For example, you can listen to a short English podcast while having breakfast, or read a simple English article before bed. The key is to pick something easy and enjoyable.
Yes, enjoyment is so important. If you choose something you like, it's easier to keep going. Maybe you love music. You could listen to your favorite English songs and try to understand the lyrics.
Exactly, and don't forget, it's okay to make mistakes. The goal is not to be perfect, but to keep practicing. When you practice a little every day, your brain gets used to English, and it becomes more natural.
That's a great point, Emma. Also, it's helpful to connect English with things you already do. For example, if you like cooking, try watching cooking videos in English. Or if you enjoy sports, watch sports commentary in English.
Oh, I love that idea. Learning English doesn't have to be boring. You can mix it with your hobbies and interests. Max, do you have a personal habit that helps you with language learning?
Yes, I like to label things around my house with sticky notes in English. For example, I'll put a note on the fridge that says fridge or on the door that says door. It helps me remember vocabulary.
That's so creative, and it's such a simple way to practice. Another good habit is speaking out loud. Even if you're alone, try to describe your day in English or talk about your plans.
Right. Talking to yourself is a great way to improve. And if you have a friend who is also learning English, you can practice together. Maybe send each other short messages or voice notes in English.
Oh yes, that's a fantastic idea. And for those who don't have a partner to practice with, there are apps where you can talk to people in English. You can also join online groups or forums for English learners, T-Text.
Absolutely. Technology makes it so easy to practice now. But remember, it's not just about big efforts. Small steps are powerful too. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference over time.
That's right, Max, and it's important to track your progress. You can use a calendar or a notebook to write down what you did each day. When you look back after a week or a month, you'll feel proud of yourself.
That's such a good motivator. When you see how far you've come, it gives you energy to keep going. All right, we've talked about some great ideas so far. Let's keep exploring more ways to make English a daily habit.
So let's dive deeper into how we can make English a natural part of daily life. One thing I really love is setting reminders. For example, you can set an alarm on your phone that says, "Practice English for 10 minutes." It's like giving yourself a little nudge every day.
That's a smart idea, Emma. Sometimes we forget, right? Especially when we're busy. But when you get that reminder, it's like a friend saying, "Hey, don't forget to practice."
Exactly. And the great thing is, those 10 minutes don't have to be serious or boring. You could use that time to watch a funny video in English or even play a word game on your phone.
Yes, making it fun is so important. I think a lot of people feel like they have to study English the same way they did in school with books and grammar exercises. But learning can be so much more relaxed and creative.
That's true. For example, let's talk about movies and TV shows. Watching something in English with subtitles is such a great habit. You're learning new words, hearing how people speak, and enjoying a story at the same time.
Oh, and I have a tip for that. If you're just starting, use subtitles in your own language. But as you improve, switch to English subtitles. It's challenging, but it really helps your listening skills.
That's a fantastic idea. And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Just focus on catching a few words or phrases. Over time, your brain will get better at recognizing more.
And speaking of recognizing words, reading is another amazing habit. You don't have to read long books. You can start with short stories, articles, or even social media posts in English.
Oh yes, reading is so powerful. I like to recommend comic books or magazines because they have pictures that help you understand the meaning. Plus, they're fun to read.
Totally agree, and if you see a new word, don't be afraid to look it up. You can use a dictionary or even just Google it. But here's a tip. Try to guess the meaning first from the context. It's a great way to train your brain.
That's a great point, Max. Guessing meaning is a skill that gets better with practice. And once you understand the word, try to use it right away in a sentence. That helps you remember it better.
Yes, use it or lose it, right? And speaking of using English, another great habit is writing. You don't have to write long essays. Even short notes or journal entries in English can help.
Oh, I love journaling. You can write about your day, your goals, or even just a list of things you need to do. And don't worry about grammar. The most important thing is to write something every day.
That's true. And if you like writing, you can even try sending emails or messages in English. Maybe to a friend or a colleague. It's great practice and it helps you think in English.
Yes, and thinking in English is such an important habit. It might feel strange at first, but you can start small. For example, when you see something, try to name it in English. Like, oh, that's a car, or this is my phone.
That's a good exercise, and if you're feeling more confident, try forming sentences in your mind. For example, I need to buy milk today, or the weather is nice. It's like practicing English in your head.
Absolutely, and don't forget to reward yourself for building these habits. For example, if you practice English every day for a week, treat yourself to something you enjoy, like a favorite snack or watching a movie.
Rewards are so motivating, and they remind you that learning English doesn't have to feel like work. It can be something you look forward to.
Exactly, Max. And another habit I find helpful is combining English with exercise. For example, you can listen to an English podcast while going for a walk or doing yoga. It's like helping your mind and body at the same time.
Oh, I do that all the time. It's such a good way to use your time wisely. And speaking of time, you don't need to spend hours practicing English. Even a few minutes every day is enough if you're consistent.
Yes, consistency is the key. And if you ever feel like skipping a day, remind yourself why you're learning English. Maybe it's for a better job, to travel, or to talk to new people.
That's so true. When you have a clear reason, it's easier to stay motivated. And don't forget to celebrate your progress. Every little step counts, whether it's learning a new word or understanding a new phrase.
Absolutely. And remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. It's okay to take your time and enjoy the process. Let's keep exploring more ways to make English a daily habit.
All right, let's continue talking about how to make English learning a daily habit. One thing I've realized is that it's not just about what you do, but also where and when you do it. For example, if you always practice English in the same place, like at your desk or a favorite chair, it becomes part.
That's a really good point, Max. Having a specific spot for your English practice can help your brain get into learning mode more easily. It's like creating a small English corner in your home.
Exactly, and the same goes for timing. If you set a specific time for learning, like every morning at 8 a.m. or before bed, it's easier to stick to it. Your brain starts to expect it.
That's so true. It's like setting an appointment with yourself. And here's another tip. Combine English with something you already do. For example, if you have breakfast every morning, why not listen to an English podcast while eating?
That's a great idea, or if you take public transport, use that time to read an English article or watch a short video. Turning waiting time into learning time is such a smart habit.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about speaking practice. Even if you don't have someone to talk to, you can use technology. For example, voice assistants like Siri or Google Assistant can be a fun way to practice speaking in English.
Oh, that's true. You can ask them questions in English and they'll answer you. It's like having a mini conversation, and if you make mistakes, no one is judging you, it's just practice.
That's such a low-pressure way to practice speaking. And if you want more interaction, there are language exchange apps where you can talk to people around the world. Many of them are also learning English, so you can help each other.
Yes, and it's a great way to learn about different cultures too. Speaking with real people makes the language come alive. But even if you don't use apps, just talking to yourself in English is helpful.
Definitely, you can describe what you're doing as you go through your day. For example, I'm brushing my teeth now, or I'm making coffee. It sounds simple, but it helps you think in English naturally.
And don't forget about listening. Surrounding yourself with English sounds is a powerful habit. For example, keep the radio on in English while you're cleaning or cooking. Even if you're not actively listening, your brain is picking up the language.
That's such a good idea. And for those who like music, try singing along to English songs. It's fun, and it helps with pronunciation and rhythm.
Oh, I love doing that. And speaking of fun, let's talk about games. There are so many English learning apps and games that make practice enjoyable. For example, word puzzles, quizzes, or even adventure games where you solve problems in English.
Yes, learning through play is amazing. And another way to keep things fresh is by changing your methods now and then. For example, one week, you could focus on reading, and the next week, you could focus more on listening.
That's a good point, Emma. Variety keeps you from getting bored. And it also helps you develop all your skills listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
Exactly. And don't forget about setting goals. For example, you can set a goal to learn 5 new words every day or to finish an English book in a month. Goals give you something to work towards.
That's so true, and when you reach your goals, it feels amazing. But remember, your goals should be realistic. Start small and build up gradually.
Right, if your goal is too big, it can feel overwhelming. But small, daily goals are easier to achieve, and they build up over time. Max, what do you think about using rewards to stay motivated?
Oh, I'm all for it. For example, if you practice English every day for a week, treat yourself to something you love, a nice meal, a movie, or even just some relaxing time. It's a great way to stay motivated.
Absolutely. Rewards make the journey more enjoyable. And speaking of motivation, I think it's important to remind yourself of your why. Why are you learning English?
That's such an important question. Maybe it's to get a better job, to travel, or to make new friends. Whatever your reason, keeping it in mind can give you the energy to keep going.
Exactly. And don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey is different. What matters is your own progress, even if it's small.
That's so true, Emma, and remember, learning English is not about being perfect, it's about improving step by step. If you make mistakes, it's okay. That's how we all learn.
Yes, mistakes are part of the process, and learning English is not just about the language. It's about opening new doors, meeting new people, and experiencing new opportunities.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Emma. All right, everyone, we hope these tips help you make English a part of your daily life. Remember, small steps every day lead to big changes over time.
Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this podcast with your family and friends who are learning English. Let's keep learning and growing together.
Yes, we're here to support you on your journey. Keep practicing, stay positive, and enjoy the process. See you next time.
Emma and bye.